is, and our community is here with us now. Hello, everyone. All right, you guys, I guess we are at the top of the hour, so we're going to go ahead and get this party started. Again, thank each and every one of you for being here on our ILCA overview. But before we get started, I want to say hello to all my beautiful community showing up. I see you guys. Now, you should know the routine by now. As you guys come on in, please type your names and where you are from in the chat box. That way I get a chance to tell everybody who is on the Zoom call with us. And if you have the opportunity, like my beautiful friend Iveta, go ahead and turn on your cameras. One of the best parts about us meeting on a Zoom call like this is that we get a chance to see all your faces and see those wonderful smiles. So of course, first up is the beautiful Iveta Peralt. Hello, baby. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. It is always good to see you, sunshine. I see we also have the wonderful Mr. Kenny Taylor coming out of Los Angeles, California. Hello, King. How are you? Thank you so very much for being here with us. I see we have the beautiful Miss Carla Arrigo. I would say represent St. Louis, but if I'm not mistaken, she's back in Colorado. It's good to see you, love. Thank you so much for being here. Of course, we have the wonderful Miss Maggie. Hi, Miss Maggie. She is coming all the way in from Canada. It is always good to see you, love. There is my good friend. His name is William Duzinski. Hi, William. How are you? His name is also Wild Bill. Thank you so much for being here, sir. It is always good to see you. There is Mr. Nathan Hansberger representing Las Vegas. Hello, sir. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Of course, my angel. I cannot go on without saying hello to her. Her name is Miss Joyce Easley. Hi, baby. How are you? Thank you so much for being here with us. I see Miss Judy Emdem. Miss Judy is here representing Canada. Judy, thank you so much for being a part of our community. Of course, the Empress herself, Catherine Clement. Hi, baby. How are you? All right, you guys, we're at the top of the hour, so let's go ahead and get our party started. Again, thank each and every one of you for being here for the ILCA overview and public crypto talk. I am your hostess, Miss Marnita Casa. I like to call myself your Queen Connectress, and I will be your humble hostess for today. Now, it's my honor to introduce you all to a man that for over 25 years dominated the direct sales industry. His cryptocurrency is used by companies and universities worldwide. Now, for over 8 years, he dedicated his life to learning about blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, but he didn't just stop there. He decided to go out and share his information with the masses, and this was done by putting on fun and exciting Bitcoin boot camps nationwide at no cost. He has built thriving communities and wonderful platforms like you see before you now. So without further ado, it is my honor to introduce you all to Mr. Brandon Ivey.
All right. Thank you for that introduction, Ms. Casa, and welcome back, everybody. And I also want to give it back to Ms. Casa, doing a wonderful job being our hostess, being ready and prepared on Saturday morning. I know that trips you up every time if I hit the go live on YouTube as well, and your cue is the recording. So it's all good. So good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you guys for being here. We're 1 week into June and 1 week removed from the Bitcoin 2025 event, and we'll be talking about that for a while because there was a lot of things to unpack at that event and what's happening for the second half of 2025. And we're going to keep this as short as we can as well, so you guys can enjoy the rest of your Saturday and your weekend as we get prepared for a brand new week. And I do have a new video clip to show. I have not seen this yet because I just literally put it together. So there might be some errors in my editing, but it's going to have some fun. There's going to be some fun clips to show you guys from that. And I'll show that in a couple of minutes. But let's backtrack. And I want to welcome all you guys on YouTube because I'm also streaming on my other YouTube channel. I am not streaming on the ILCA YouTube channel. I'm streaming on the Brandon Ivey YouTube channel. And it's been a long time since I actually streamed on there. So welcome those of you guys on YouTube that's seeing us for the first time in a long time. Now, let's backtrack. A lot has happened in the last 48 hours or so in and outside of America. The crypto environment is exploding big time. on a local level and on a macro level, a geopolitical level. Everybody is hearing about this and being exposed to this, but I first got involved in 2016 when I bought 3 Bitcoin for the very first time. And I actually found an old Coinbase account of mine where I did small transactions that added up to about 3 Bitcoin. And it didn't take a lot because at that time, Bitcoin was only worth $640 a coin. And I think I first started buying it when it was at 400 or 500 something dollars. And I sold all 3 of those at the end of 2016 for $870 a piece, only to find that Bitcoin 1 year later got to $20,000 a coin. And I knew then that we haven't seen nothing yet. And we fast forward today. What is the value of Bitcoin now? More than $100,000 a coin. So I dedicated my career, my future, and my life to learning about this space and taking full advantage of this space. And I was already full-time working for myself. I've been retired since 2012. But to be able to shift my career in mid-retirement and be able to keep, maintain, and grow my quality of life, it was a scary transition to do. But crypto allowed that to happen for one reason only. Not because crypto is the greatest thing ever. It's because I educated myself in this space, learned it, and then I put what I learned into action. And then I also took my passion, which is teaching, which is coaching, and created something out of it in this space. And that is what ILCA is all about, Ivy League Crypto Academy, because I knew if I didn't know where to go to get crypto education, and I had all the time in the world to do it, what does that mean for individuals who are not retired, who have 1 or 2 or 3 jobs, who have a family and kids, don't have a lot of resources to go back to school in the first place? What's best, YouTube and Google? That's not very wise to do. And I did that the hard way. I learned the hard way. So we created a platform that's going to teach every person from, if you're a beginner, all the way to someone who you think you're advanced in this space. You think you already know everything there is to know about Bitcoin, about crypto. You've made millions in it. I still have something that you can learn from as well, because this is a space that is changing literally every single day. New rules and laws and regulations are being put in place. New businesses are coming up. New scams and thieves and crypto social engineering hacks are coming into place that is looking for you to make a mistake. And all it takes is one mistake in this crypto space, and you just lost 7, 8 years of your life savings down the tube in the blink of an eye. Education allows you to be able to pivot in this space, maneuver in this space, be able to make executed and safe, secure moves, be able to be liberal or conservative, be able to be aggressive or a little bit more reserved. And there is no one way in this space. Every person is different. Every person's goals, short term and long term, and the amount of reserves you have working for you, and resources and money is different. And so being educated lets you know how to chart a path that's going to be tailor-made and fit for you. One of the biggest benefits of ILCA is not even the almost 200 live streaming videos we have for you and the 13 lessons covering every major topic in the crypto space. That's not the biggest benefit of ILCA, because you actually can find that information on your own if you are dedicated enough to do it. I just coordinated it and put it together. The biggest benefit of this community, is the people, that you're not in this alone. You're not by yourself. You're not going on this journey, solo. And we learn from each other. The ability to ask questions, to be in a safe environment, to be able to take something that you see out there, you're not sure about it, bring it to us. We'll take a look at it and say, nah, that's not it right there. Or that is it. That's a good one. I can't tell you how much money I've made from things that you guys have brought to the community. In our inner circle, we are in at least 3 or 4 live new token launches that we found in the inner circle that you guys brought to us right now. Now, is that a guarantee that these things are going to be successful? Probably not, but you only need 1 or 2. And we have seen over and over and over again how some of these projects can launch and go from 0.003 cents to next thing is worth $130 in a year. And you flipped $100 into $50,000. You know, these things happen all the time. You just got to know where to go, where to look, and where to find it. And that is what the ILCA community is all about. And one thing that we've also done is we're going back on the road. We're taking advantage of events. We're learning. We just came back from Bitcoin 2025. We've got Chicago coming up in over a month from now, our Chicago Summit, which is explicitly an ILCA event by itself. And there's no cost for people to join on our Saturday event. Everybody is able to come out for free to learn. We've got a Friday night, Saturday event, and Sunday morning event. So that's all planned out. That's all laid out and ready to go. This coming week, I will be hitting it hard on promoting not only the ILCA for the rest of the summer, but also our partnership program and our Chicago event. Congratulations to all of you parents and grandparents that had children that graduated this past week. My youngest son graduated, so we're very excited about that and hit the next endeavor for him, going to college this fall. And so there's a lot happening that I've been a part of and just recovering back from Bitcoin 2025. They're getting ready for this new week. Now, I want to pivot and I want to show a short clip. Now, we'll see how this is. I literally just whipped this up. So let me share screen, portion of the screen, and sound. All right. Okay. Oh, here we go. Play.
Move, Quest.
You're live right now.
Oh, okay. No, don't do that.
You already are.
Kind of giving you a tour on what's going on and giving you a reason why you want to make sure that you are at the next blockchain festival. Check it out. Let me see if I can turn this camera around so you guys can see. Hold up. Okay, so like I said, as you can see, there are so
You're gonna be filming?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But I will do what you need me to do.
Just make sure nobody takes this.
Absolutely.
Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at the 3-day Bitcoin conference, day 1. It's very exciting. It's kicking off with actually, let's start this over. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at the Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas, a 3-day conference. I've got Brandon Ivey, the founder, CEO of the Ivy League Crypto Academy. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, doing great.
2nd, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have one beautiful bachelorette and 20 gentlemen.
Oh, wait, I got to get their booty shaking. Give me 1 second, lady. Oh, my God. How do you feel, sir? Oh. Leonard is dead. Let me just jump up there real quick.
Yeah, you were waiting. Wait a minute. Uh-oh. You feel that?
All right, all right. So yeah, there were some mistakes and things I thought I was in there that I left out. But that was a short clip of our event in Vegas, Bitcoin 2025. And when we do our 5-day challenge this month, we're going to have some people that's going to speak about that event and some of the things that we saw there and how it relates to what's coming up in the future for crypto. And I think I said this even last Saturday, that one of the biggest impacts is that this event has went from retail investors to institutional Wall Street guys literally taking it over. And 75% plus of that floor, of the convention floor, was all about Bitcoin mining, which personally I think is completely outdated. That's 8 years ago, but now it seems to be the biggest thing. Well, the average person cannot mine Bitcoin, but they weren't promoting themselves for the average person. They were promoting themselves for corporations that are looking at doing and duplicating the United States, creating a Bitcoin strategic reserve. So there's 2 ways you can get Bitcoin. You can buy it or you can mine it. And so they're trying to mine. It's like the last gold rush for the last 1 million Bitcoin to be mined. And the last one's not going to be mined until 2140. So you think that they're thinking short term? They're thinking long term. And those of you in our inner circle, we have seen that multiple experts are already predicting $1 million plus Bitcoin price, even as high as up to $50 million per Bitcoin over the next 40 years. That's what they're preparing for. That means that we need to be prepared as well to the greatest economic shift in wealth in the history of mankind for the most amount of people. And I say that all the time, the most amount of people. That means that every single one of you has an equal opportunity. And I use that word equal. I know we are in an era where we want to erase, we want to call anything that has to do with equal as woke or DEI. But it is a fact. Not everybody is treated equal. This is freedom based on Bill Gates. It says blockchain is freedom because it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a man, woman, or child, whether you have a college education or not, whether you speak the right language, come from the right country, are the right gender, or even race. None of that matters. You only need to have a cell phone, access to the internet, and a willingness to learn. It doesn't know if you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. All that needs to know is, do you want to get it? And if the answer is yes, then you need to first, what I say, my rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Get your start. Join our community. Go to ILCA. Oh, first, get back to the person who has invited you to listen to this today, and then let them know whether you want to be a part of it or not, because they can give you a link to get started. And why do we do that? Because we also have an affiliate who wants to make money. See, one thing that I know is what people need is they need education. What they want is they want to make money. So what if I can combine the two together by offering you an opportunity based on what membership you join with us to earn 5% to 20% on everything anybody you share purchases of ILCA, from our memberships, from gold membership to platinum membership, all the way to our courses, where you get all of our courses for $24.99, only $24.99. And heads up, this is going up. I'm doing preparations on this price, and because I know the value of what I have going up in the future. But at the same time as it's going up, I'm going to be offering one, more value into our community, but two, how would you also like to have a way to have this funded and paid for you? How would you like to be able to earn not only affiliate commissions of 5 to 20%, but also be able to earn 50% by becoming a partner? How would you like to also be a part of our community that has passive opportunity programs where you can earn an income without having to recruit anybody and share with anybody, and without having to sell a product, good, or service, and have passive income coming in? I'm not talking MLM or network marketing and none of that. No team building. That's everything that we have in the pipeline that we're getting ready for right now. So get back to the person who has invited you. If nobody invited you, then shoot a message to Ms. Casa or myself. You can go to ilca.app, and this will get you plugged in to everything we have going on. One of the main things that, well, there's two backbones of the ILCA community. The first is our 5-day challenge. Once a month, we put on call it like a Bitcoin boot camp, where for 1 hour a night, Monday through Friday, at no cost to you, you can come out and learn the basics of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, blockchain, and more. Registration is free, and you're going to get a free gift, a free ebook called Bitcoin for Beginners, for those of you who decide to register for free and show up. So for 1 hour a night, you're going to learn a little bit about Bitcoin and crypto, and we do that once a month. The next one is going to be June 23rd. That week, June 23rd to the 27th, which is 3 weeks from now. 2.5 weeks from now. Then we also have what's called the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle. Do I still have this? ILCAsecrets.com. Still have this up here? No, that's a diamond membership. Oh, ILCA Crypto News. Yeah, our Inner Circle. This is where the backbone of our entire community, because you get me almost every single day. I'm going to give you a sneak peek in about 3 minutes on what we do in the Inner Circle, but this is where I go to learn and keep myself up to date and informed of the crypto space on a daily basis. I just turn on the camera and the microphone and bring you guys along for the ride. We're covering crypto news, we're covering crypto updates, we're reading the charts, we're even going to be doing trading, live trading. In fact, those of you in our diamond class, I was looking at our Kraken, because I think I did a trade in front of you guys last week, and I did a buy order on that token SPX. Yeah, I bought it at $1.18. So I'm going to be sitting there watching this one, because right now it's at $1.10. So we'll see how this performs come Monday. And we got diamond class back on Tuesday. So we do even live trading. And one thing about the articles, I do not read any of these articles before we get started. I'm not a YouTube influencer or anything like that. I call them YouTube manipulators, because they're manipulating the market. I'm not mad at them. I just recognize what they're doing when most people don't. I am actually learning with you guys and live. So you're getting this raw from me and not anything that's filtered. So speaking on that, let's jump on to show you an example of what we do in our crypto talk. So one of the first things that I look at is I want to read the charts, read the markets, what's going on in the world in traditional finance and in crypto finance. So traditional finance, we've got This is interesting. We've got a bump in the Dow, 443 points, 61 points, 231 points. Can anybody guess what was the biggest news in American politics over the last 48 hours? Well, since Friday, Thursday, Friday. Well, there was a bromance breakup between the president of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, and the richest man in the world, Elon Musk. It looked like it was going good at first. There was an Oval Office address, and the Elon Musk's time as a special government employee was up by law because it only could be 100 and something days. He got the key to the White House. Everything was, well, he had a black eye at the same time, but everything seemed to be good. But that quickly fell apart, starting with one big thing. Trump's big, beautiful bill that is being debated and fought over in Congress. The House voted for it. Now it's going to the Senate. But now, after the House voted for it, there's a contingent of Republican congressmen and women who admit they didn't read the whole thing and that there's things in the bill that had they known about it, they wouldn't have voted for. And at the same time, Elon Musk came out and completely blasted the bill and anybody who voted for the bill, which is contrary to what Trump wants. So you've got a inside civil war between two big powerhouses, and the rest are trying to figure out what side they're going to fall on. That is still ongoing, but it was more than that. It bled into the out in the open on Twitter and Truth Social between Musk and Trump going at each other, and that is going to impact the markets one way or another. If you guys remember years ago, I even started saying that there in crypto, there's only two things I fear in crypto because I feel that it can manipulate the entire market and I cannot predict it. It's Tether and Elon Musk. This is way before he was backing Trump. And I said that I fear Elon Musk because of his power to manipulate the whole market with a single tweet. And now we're seeing both of them as Trump is now being seen as the face of crypto. And because of that, we now have the Democrats politicizing it and thinking that because they believe Trump is a criminal, anything he does in crypto must be some criminal activity. That is not a good thing to do. Because if you do that, then all the legitimate things happening in crypto moving forward that we want for crypto regulation, for the laws being passed, for regulation and SEC, all of that is now going to be seen as some criminal thing just because of Trump. And so that is going to impact. And now we got Elon and Trump falling apart. So now one thing I want to look at is which one is going to take the so-called reins of crypto. Will it be Trump or will it be Elon Musk? Which one? So based on this activity the last couple of days, the Dow, the US market has gone up. Let me see the futures. Futures is in the green. Europe is mixed a little bit. Asia mixed a little bit. What is a crypto market doing today? Slightly down 1.4%. So this has been still in the red for me all week. There was a bump up. Now I am a little behind because I was not able to do crypto talk every day last week and also the week before. So there was a bump here. I see that. Bitcoin dominance at 61.5%. Ethereum is below 9% at 8.91%. Bitcoin is at 0.4%. 24 hours, Ethereum 0.2%, 24 hours, Ripple 0.1, Solana 0.1, Doge is up 2.5, Hype is down 0.5, Sui is up 2.8, Chainlink 2.7, Avalanche 5.6, Leo token 3.0, Stellar, Bitcoin Cash 3.9, Litecoin's up 2.3, Polkadot 2, Aave's up 1.9, Uniswap 3.5, Near's up 4.5. This is still a mixed bag, mostly green than I see than in red. Where's an outlier? Ethana's up 8.9. Filecoin. Sky. Who is this? Have you guys seen Sky lately at all? I don't remember ever seeing this. So I'll keep it in a mental note. If I see this on Crypto Talk Monday morning, I'm going to investigate it. Sky. Injective is up 6.7. Okay, let's look at best performers in the last 24 hours. Ethana, Injective, Avalanche, Near, Optimism, Tokenized Exchange, Bitcoin Cash, Official Trump, Uniswap. Okay. Who's the worst performers? SPX. Oh, go figure. Isn't that the one I just bought a little on? Well, it's still up 11% on the week though. So that wasn't a bad pick. Stacks is down 3.4, 11.2 on the week. Let me look at the week to week. Chronos is down 9.1. Sky, see this one? You might have to look this one up. 9.5 up. Jupiter 12.4 down. Stories up 2. Okay, not that bad. Well, what did I say? 10%? Oh, that's virtual. Not that bad. See, MQT. The MoveQuest app has launched this week. I finally downloaded them onto my phone, and it's nice. It's a lot better than the Get Fit app. But it has not created or generated momentum yet. One, I haven't been able to do anything yet. I've been busy the last 2 weeks. So I'll be looking at this come Monday moving forward. So we're sitting at $8.38. Again, I would say this would be the time to buy. Whoa. $14,000 worth of buys in the last 24 hours versus 3,000 in sales. Then why is it at this price? Let me refresh this again. That is a big difference. Why is the price still where it's at? Smart contract must not have kicked in. This might have been the last time here. June 5th, 2 days ago. And then before that, June 4th. All right, so we'll see what this looks. Whoa, this is a big purchase. Someone purchased 300 MQT at $2,572. Here's another one. Purchased 356 MQT at 3,000. Well, that's the first time this was a buy. Okay, that's a brand new wallet that made that purchase. Well, where's the massive sell-off then? Any big sell? I do not see it, so something's not right with the way Dex Tools is displaying. Something seems to be off, so I'll have to look at this a little later. This is not matching up. How are you down 4.4% when you just had all those big buys and I don't see any large sell orders? So it could be a display. Let me just want to see if I do see a sell order here. Big, large one. I don't. Out of the last 300 transactions, here's one, but that's only 32. No, 32 MQT. Yeah, something's not adding up. All right, let's move on. There are 2 wallets that are multi-million-dollar wallets. I know one of them is a scam wallet that's attached inside of the MQT community of somebody trying to scam. This wallet has $35 million in it. This wallet has 35.93. Isn't that interesting? I wonder if it's the same group. So I stumbled across 2 separate wallets that are almost identical. 35.52 million, 35.93 million. If that is true, if this is the same network, this is bigger than I thought, or they just divided the two wallets. So blockchain, everything is out in the open, and I'm able to follow 3 chains on that one. 3 chains, that's not a coincidence. It's the same. Avalanche, Binance, Ethereum, Avalanche, Binance, Ethereum. I'm betting that this is the same group. Let me look at these tokens too. Tether, USD, Joe token, Guns, Stargate token, Synapse. This one has none. Kate Coin, Binance Peg, Ether, USDC, USDT. Okay, that's what I love about the blockchain. Everything's out in the open to see. All right, let's jump into some what's going on in the crypto world. Dex Screener has the same value, son. So 2 identical almost wallets. Central banks accelerate gold buying as de-dollarization heats up. Central banks are turbocharging their gold reserves in 2025 as global distrust in U.S. fiscal stability and dollar assets explodes. De-dollarization fuels 4th year of massive gold buying by central banks amid escalating global tensions and a concerted move away from U.S. dollar reliance. Central banks are increasingly turning to gold as a strategic reserve asset. Metals, Consultancy Metals Focus reported on June 5th in its annual gold market outlook that central banks are expected to purchase 1,000 metric tons of gold in 2025, marking the 4th consecutive year of significant official sector buying. Although this forecast represents an 8% decrease from the record 1,086 tons acquired in 2024, it indicates that central bank demand remains historically elevated. The drivers that have underpinned de-dollarization in recent years remain firmly in place. So I bring it up again. The biggest threat to the United States' current way of life is when the rest of the world starts doing this. And if you don't know what de-dollarization means, that means that the rest of the countries of the world are looking to do transactions, financial transactions, trades, economic transactions in any other currency outside of the US dollar. Why is that bad? Because if we didn't have the rest of the world buying our dollar, we would not be able to live in our debt-ridden society that we have today. If they stop buying it, the value of our dollar goes down. You know, that buy low, sell high type thing, it goes down. And then we're stuck with high inflation. So this is starting to speed up. If anything, President Trump's unpredictable policy stance, his public criticism of Fed Chair Jerome Powell, and the deteriorating U.S. fiscal outlook have further eroded confidence in the U.S. dollar and treasuries as ultimate safe haven assets. Robert Kiyosaki's been saying since the 90s that it is foolish to have a savings account. If you're working at a job and you're taking 10% or whatever of your money and putting it in a savings account for the future, you're losing money over time. Wealthy people don't save, they invest. Saving is not investing. There's a difference. So the report added, elevated geopolitical tensions since the start of his administration have also curtailed the appeal of U.S. assets. Despite a sharp rally in gold, let me skim this. Concerns about the U.S. dollar's declining global dominance are increasing, driven by geopolitical tensions and fiscal instability. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon and Tesla CEO Elon Musk have recently issued warnings highlighting these risks. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong has taken a more direct position, stating that Bitcoin could ultimately replace the dollar as the global reserve currency. Meanwhile, countries within alliances such as BRICS and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization are accelerating de-dollarization by conducting more trade in national currencies. See that? So this is not something that started under Trump, but this is something that is being accelerated under Trump. I've been talking about BRICS for the last 8 years, ever since I heard about it and I saw what was going on. And I knew what Russia was doing with Vladimir Putin, figured out back in 2016. Even before I began my crypto education, I'll share this quote because this is important. It was 2016 around Christmas time where I was getting even more and more curious about learning about this thing called Bitcoin. And I watched a video on Netflix, I think it was, called Banking on Bitcoin. And I read about what Vladimir Putin, his goal is long term. I am a history buff. I love politics and all that stuff. So I pay attention to what was going on in the former Soviet Union and with the autocrat like not Elon Musk, like Vladimir Putin, what his ultimate goal is. And his ultimate goal is global power. He wants the heyday of the Soviet Union again. And he blames the former leaders of the Soviet Union and the United States for the collapse without firing a single gunshot in the late 80s. So his manifest destiny, and it's not, you don't have to assume it, he says it, is to put back the Soviet Union together again. But problem, he cannot meet the United States on the battlefield. He can't. They tried that before. So how can he compete against the United States? And he said this. He said, technology, no, the Stone Age did not end due to the lack of stones. Look on the ground. There are still stones there. We just don't use them. Says the Stone Age ended due to the introduction of better technology. And the nation who adopts and adapts this new technology and leads the way in it will become the new world superpower. And the nations who do not will be living underneath the thumb of the nations who do. What technology do you think he was talking about in 2016? Because at that time he ordered his Russian central banks to begin the process of looking at digital currency and the technology to make it possible. Why? Because his goal was to be able to devise a financial system so that he can avoid sanctions and any type of financial reprimand from the West on anything he decides to do. He's been laying out this chessboard for 2 decades. And now we have BRICS. And we saw what happened after Russia invaded Ukraine. The United States dropped the biggest sanctions on any country ever, even bigger than Iran, with the goal of crippling the ruble and the Russian financial sector and economy, and forced the people to kick Vladimir out. That was even back, and that kind of even started under the Obama administration. But we had that happen. And what happened? Not even a year later, the ruble outperformed the dollar. How is that possible? Because the Russians started doing all transactions outside of the dollar with other nations who were cooperating with them and not with the West. And now you've got BRICS. So if you're not following this to understand what's going on, because this is going to directly impact us. And some people think, I don't care about what's going on over there. It's not going to impact us. Oh, yes, it will. And by the time you figure it out, it's way too late. You weren't prepared for it. All right, I'm going off on a tangent on that. Let's see, Brazil. Brazil defies tariffs, Trump tariff threats. Think about that. We had sanctions through Biden, and now we still have sanctions, but also tariffs through Trump. So if you are a world leader in a different country looking after for your own interest, would you try to be finding a way to get around all that? Yes. So Brazil says, we're going to defy you. And what are they part of? Well, what does the B stand for in BRICS? Brazil. Defies Trump tariff threats and backs a dollar-free BRICS trade. Brazil is boldly leading a national trade overhaul, defying U.S. pressure as it champions local currency and strengthens BRICS' push for financial independence and resilience. So when I always say that blockchain technology is going to disrupt every single industry, and I said that 8-9 years ago, what you're watching right now is a live, complete overhaul of the world financial system in our lifetime. We're not reading about this in a history book. It is happening in front of us right now. So you can't think everything is going to stay the same if the entire world is shifting. I'm going to talk about that in Chicago. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, I love that name, said in a June 3rd interview with Le Monde that Brazil and its partner nations will continue charting their own economic course, despite recent warnings from U.S. President Donald Trump. Lula made clear that threats of high tariffs on countries moving away from the dollar and trade settlements would not influence Brazil's decisions. Trump's threats don't scare anyone. We will act in the interest of our countries and fight for fairer international trade, while admitting it's not easy. Asking Washington for permission to choose the currency we consider most appropriate for our trade transactions is out of the question. And as an American, I can't be mad at that. And I understand. You can't, if you're sitting in a box right now thinking America is the only country in the world and screw everybody else, and I don't understand why they don't want to play with us. If you got that mindset, you're going to be the first to lose. Know your enemy. You're able to predict what they're going to do. I predicted this. Lula, commenting on Trump's approach to foreign policy since taking office in January, remarked that Trump was chosen by Americans to govern the United States, not the entire world. And this is where you got to think as how they view Americans. Americans believe that whoever the leader of America is leader of the world. Well, we're 80 years or so removed from World War II. 3 generations removed, and this new generation is saying, thank you for that, but now we're taking our future back. And we need to be prepared and ready for this. While asserting Brazil's sovereign right to determine its trade policy, Lula acknowledged that bilateral relations remain amicable, noting Brazil's relatively lower 10% tariff exposure compared to other nations. Nonetheless, he signaled readiness to retaliate if diplomacy fails, stating that his ministers had been instructed to exhaust negotiations before resorting to reciprocal tariffs. And if you think that this is all Trump's fault, it is not. This movement began way before Trump. It's only being accelerated under Trump. But this began way before Trump. This actually began before crypto and Bitcoin. So looking ahead to the BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro, Lula emphasized that the bloc's goals are constructive rather than confrontational. He dismissed the idea that BRICS intends to position itself against Washington's influence. Yes, they do. Okay? He's just saying that publicly, but yes, that's the entire goal. In early 2025, President Trump escalated tensions with BRICS nations by threatening 100% or more tariffs on any member attempting to undermine the US dollar's dominance. That is only going to force them to do it more. It's like if you have kids, and your kids want to do something and you tell them no, they're going to want to do it even more. Don't date that girl. Oh, don't date that boy. You're just pushing them right into their arms. Brazil, holding the BRICS presidency this year, remained resolute, with President Lula emphasizing the bloc's commitment to diversifying financial tools and reducing reliance on the dollar, despite U.S. pressures. Brazilian officials clarified that their goal isn't to replace the dollar, but to enhance the use of local currencies to lower transaction costs and foster economic independence. Stressing the growing economic clout of the bloc, Lula asserted for too long, countries of the global south have been seen as merely developing countries that don't cause trouble. That is true outside of the drug trade that Americans think is only happening down south. That era is over. BRICS now accounts for 39% of global GDP and more than half of the world's population. We've become a major economic and political force. So for all of you listening to me now, especially those of you not in the inner circle, and you've heard the term BRICS, you don't know what's going on, this is why you need to educate yourself on it. They account for 39% of the GDP. And they have half the world's population. That's more than 4 billion people. United States has 400 million. They don't need us. We need them. That's not a political statement. That's a financial one. I know America's the greatest and all that. Yeah, that's fine. We want to believe that. But without them, the dollar goes the way of the peso overnight, and we're not prepared for that. We need them. They don't need us anymore. At one point they did. They don't anymore. Okay, last one up, and then I got to go. Fort Knox audit. Yeah, what happened to this? Remember at the beginning of the year when Trump and Elon Musk were best buddies, and both of them were saying, "Where's the gold?" That we need to audit Fort Knox. Trump was calling for it. Have we heard any word from that in the last couple of months? Why all of a sudden silence? Why has it not happened? What do they now know? U.S. lawmakers seek audit of Federal Reserve gold, including deep storage. 4 members of Congress introduced legislation on June 6th, demanding that the first comprehensive audit of U.S. gold reserves in over 65 years. I'm only 48. In my entire life, it's never been audited that we know of. Thomas Massie, Troy Nehls, Addison McDowell, and Warren Davison, all Republicans, sponsored the Gold Reserve Transparency Act. Why aren't the Democrats jumping on this? The bill mandates a full assay, inventory, and audit of all U.S. gold reserves, including deep storage bullion, within 9 months. So, patients by the end of the year, a little more than going to 2026. The Government Accountability Office must hire an independent auditor to physically verify gold at all depositories. What happens if they do that and they realize the gold's gone? Now, when I say the gold's gone, I do not mean that the U.S. government sold the gold. I mean the U.S. government moved it. That U.S. government still controls it, just not in any public eye. Biggest theft event in modern history, 1971. Removing the dollar from the gold standard. No redactions will be permitted in the resulting public report. The auditors gain subpoena power to access all facilities and records. I don't know. I might have to be like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. They were screaming bloody murder on the outside, but now that they're in, there's no there. He committed suicide. Really? What did they find out once they got in there? I don't know if we want to do this. If it comes out that there's no gold, say goodbye to the U.S. economy immediately. That's why I think this has been quiet. All right, with that, I have run out of time. There is a MoveQuest Saturday morning presentation coming up, and they want me to speak on it. So I will be on that presentation. We invite you guys to join our inner circle because I'm going to be covering this stuff more, especially, there was another article. Full porting, Bitcoin could be Musk's, I wanted to read this one. Musk's Trump card in feud Why didn't I move this to the top? Samson Mao says Elon Musk should go all in on Bitcoin before they freeze his assets. You think Trump would do that? Freeze all his assets? I'm going to save this one. I'm sure there'll be more articles by Monday. But I do want to finish covering this too. What is a cryptocurrency mixer and how does it work? I think we covered the first 3, so we still have 4, 5, and 6 to go. So that's going to be in our private inner circle on Monday. So get back to whoever invited you so you can be joined our inner circle, or go to ilca.app. I'm hopping on to the MoveQuest presentation right now. I will see you guys back on Monday. I might do some lives tomorrow, preparing for the week, but I'll be back on Monday morning. With that, take care. Brandon Ivey out. Bye-bye.